So now we're in a place where we have some other items, and I like to work and find my large items and then move to my small items. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, perhaps like these girts on a roof, right? These things that hold the metal decking up, those are called girts. And just as a visual aid, or I'm sorry, they're not girts. Girts are on the side. These are purlins. Purlins. All right. So if I look at purlins in a metal building, and I pull this up, you see these things that are sticking up right here? Those are purlins. Here's another example of a purlin. This metal item right here. You see that? Okay. There's a purlin. And just to, like I said, give you an opportunity to see what we're looking at. Here's another example of a purlin, but this is a Z-type purlin. So purlins can come in different shapes, and they can even be C channels. They're just the horizontal members that hold up our roof decking. Okay, so with that in mind, let's see if we have something like this in here. Now I'm going to tell you right off, the closest thing we have to that, if we go in and we are in our metals division 5, which is under the detail items, right? If I go to cold form metal framing, these light gauge Z's are the closest thing in section that I have that kind of look like that. And I'm not too terribly fond of them. So this is an instance where I'm going to go ahead and make my own. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, again, if I go to the annotate tab and I say, let's go here and let's go to detail line, but now let's go to wide lines. And I'm going to say, instead of picking all my lines, I'm just going to draw them, right? So I'm going to say, I'm going to go from here to here, right? SE to snap to the end or zoom in closer, right? And then I'm going to go and see, I've got the chain function on so I can keep drawing, right? And people, if what you're thinking right now is, oh my goodness, this is so tedious, you're absolutely right. It can be a tedious function sometimes, but that's why I'm going to show you something right after I finish these last couple of lines. And I'll go SE to snap end, and I'll snap in there as well. So with that in mind, I'm going to hover and hit the tab key. You see how it selects it all? And you're like, well, I don't want to do that all over again. Well, the nice thing is if I click that, I get this option to do something, create group. You see that? And if I click that, in this, I can call this a purlin, right? That's a purlin now. And I can actually, you see this origin point? I can modify the group origin to be down here. So now when I click that, see that's down there? And I've got another one of these. Now I only had two, but that's okay. I only had to make one. And now instead of it being all separate lines, it's one item. So I can go in here and say copy from here all the way down to here. And I'm good to go, right? There's my purlin. And I can still edit this if I want, right? If I wanted to edit this, watch what happens. See how they look the same? If I go to edit group, if I'm in here and edit group, what if I wanted to make this look more like a piece of steel? Well, guess what I could do? I could go in here to this filled region and I can say, hey, we could use a diagonal crosshatch, right? Or I could use another crosshatch that's available in here. But the diagonal crosshatch for right now will probably do. Or I could use it solid black or solid gray. There's a number of things I can do. I'm going to use a diagonal crosshatch. And what I can do in this instance now is go pick lines, right? Well, I can pick here, 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 here. And that one, it doesn't quite want me. If I tab around, yep, there it is, right? And if I say finish edit mode, now I've got diagonal crosshatch, but that's not exactly what I'm looking for, is it? So if I tab, right, and I say, let me edit the type, right? Can I go in here and find another hatch? I sure can. Let's see one that might work. How about this diagonal up, right? That might be a good one. Or let's see, is there another good one in here? See if under model I can find a better one. No, I'll just go back to, because it's a drafting view. I'm going to go in here and it says aluminum, but that's okay. I'm going to say okay and apply and okay. And that's a little better, right? When I hit finish, watch what happens to this other one too. So now it picks up in both of those, right? So now this looks like it's got a little more steel to it, all right? So what about some of these other shapes? Well, it looks like I've got a channel here, and I've got a little channel in here, and a channel here. These are more like steel studs. This is an actual steel channel. So this is a girt. This is actually what a girt is. This is a purlin. This is a girt. So I could do this. I could say uh, load family, right? And see if I can find what. Under here, I can say structural steel framing. And under here, is there a channel shape for me? Right? Those are angles. There's a channel shape, right? In section. Right? Now I'm going to have to figure, oh my goodness, which one am I going to use? I'm going to make an assumption here. I'm going to say maybe this is an 8 by 17, C8 by 17. I'm guessing right here because I haven't even measured this yet. But let's go down here and let's look and see if we can find that shape. Oh, that's not too horribly far off there, is it? So there's my shape, right? And sometimes what we have looks a little better than what's there. So let's go in and say this, if we measured it from here to here, we're at 7 inches and this is an 8. So let's load family and let's go back to this, this channel shape section and see if I've got something closer to 7 inches. Up, look, 7 by 14.7 or 12.2, you see? Let's grab the 12.2. All right. And if I click on this now, I can go in here and change this to that one's not bad. Let's, well, not edit family. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that, people. I could say, and I'm doing this on purpose because I want you to see something. Insert, load family, channel shape section. And I'm going to say, well, maybe that C14.7 will work. Right? Is that closer? Let's look. No, not really. Let's go ahead and that's close, but no cigar, right? Maybe one of my other 8-inch ones work. So I can say load family and I can go in here again and I can say channel shape section. And you know what? I'm going to just do what? I'm going to grab a bunch of these this time. I'm going to say, give me this one, and I think I already have, I don't think I have that one loaded. I'm going to say, okay. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to see, do any of these other ones fit? Because, you know, that one's pretty close, no cigar, and that one's close. Now, the thing I know about Revit is that these are actual Revit shape. These are actual steel shapes. In this drawing I have here, this CAD file, this is not an actual shape. Now, I could have saved myself some trouble, couldn't I? Couldn't I have gone in here and just drawn that? But chances are it wouldn't have been correct. The other thing is that there's no note pointing to this anyway, and we'll take care of that one of our other lessons. So using this C8, 11 and a half, and that's 11 and a half, 8 inches flange to flange, 11.5 pounds per foot. If you remember from our discussion on that a long time ago, I'm going to go ahead and probably pick the larger one here, right? That one will do for what we're doing, right? And I'll just put that in. But I could have drawn that as well, but it still would not have been necessarily the correct shape we were looking for. So I've got that portion in there now. Now as I go up here, I've got a few more pieces of steel. Look, I've got these metal what? These metal stud tracks. So again, I'll go in load family and I'll go to cold form metal framing, and I can look at this and say these are probably runner channels, right? They could be light gauge. They're not angles. I would say they're probably going to end up being runner channels, right? So I can get that running channel section and open it up. And if I go over here, you see how it loads my runner channels for me over here. If I measure this, I'll measure this one. This is probably a 4 inch, so 4 and 3/16 inch. That'll probably work here in this instance, right? And then I bet that's about double. So oh, nope, it's a little more than double. So in this instance, what might I choose to do here? Well, this says this is existing light gauge backing, so we don't know exactly what size this is. So in this instance, instead of that channel right there, right, I could go in here and say what? I could say annotate, and I can say give me detail lines on this one, and I can say give me medium lines, right? And I could go in here and I could chain draw it again, or I could just say, let's pick these. Let's pick 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I can tab on this, 7, tab, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, right? And now I can go in, remember this, I can go in here and grab all that, and I can say group, right? And it's saying the elements you've selected contain dimensions or tags. I didn't see any dimensions or tags. Let's try that one more time. Okay, I'm going to say okay because I'm not seeing it now. I'm just going to say LG channel, right? 01. And I'll say okay. And then that's my channel, and I'll move the insertion point to there. And then I'll do the same thing over here with this one. And I'll say detail line, and I can go pick lines, and I can just hover, tab. You see how it picked everything that time? Click. There we go, right? That's all of them, and then I can select all those, and I can say group, and I'll say LG channel 02 this time. Okay. And then I can say we can put this insertion point down here. And now I've got both my channels in here, right? Or the runner channels, the light gauge, and then this is more heavy gauge steel. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll let you get caught up a little. We'll pick back up in the next video and we'll start working on some of these other items that you see in here. And again, this is one of those things that is just a tedious process. It can be, but one of my jobs early on in Revit was to take a lot of old AutoCAD details and update them just like you're looking at now. So I have to make sure you understand how to do this going forward. So I'll go ahead and save this and we'll move on to the next video.